because I had just all this crap going on. I said, but it really wasn't about that at this point. I just wanted to be able just to get it back up there and get my confidence back up there and know that I still belonged in the sport, and that I could do this. And they said, don't stop, and so the plan was to train for the universe. And then I had these other things that came up, and I
Yeah.
just, I couldn't. And then we decided, well, maybe we'll do North Americans, and we'll shoot for that. And I don't feel like I'd be ready for the North Americans. I think I could have done it. I think I could have prepped myself, but I just felt like we needed more time. So now the new goal is we are definitely going to do the NPC Masters USA in Las Vegas. So
Or you thought about also, it's I think it's a little bit farther down if you think about this one. Nationals,
yeah, no,
that's
I
in
don't
the
want. No, I don't want to go to nationals. Nationals doesn't do masters, so I really want to be in a masters show. I mean,
don't use that excuse. They don't do masters. This is about bodybuilding.
I
Don't
know.
use your hey, hold on. This is my shit. This is my shit. I built this shit. Me, brick by brick. Let me talk. I'll let you talk. Let me talk. This is the thing is this is bodybuilding. It's about coming in your best condition. I've seen women who are your age, even old. I just talked to a lady just Monday, 76 years old, turned pro at 74. She did one pro show because she was dealing with her medical issues. She had to stop. I understand you feel like it's like masters your better chance.
Yeah.
But his thing is, any opportunity you can take it. Now, you want to do Master USA's? Cool, cool. But here's the thing is, always know you have that option. As you
Right.
know, with nationals, there's the classes.
Whoops, sorry about that.
And for each given class, as you can come in, all you have to do, if you come in your best condition in your class, make top two, you get your pro card. Now, this is something you need to talk to. You can talk to Ron about this,
Right.
but I know you want to feel more comfortable. I feel more comfortable if I compete with somebody with it. That's the thing is you got to get out of your own comfort zone.
Right. I mean,
Opportunities there. You can't be, like I said, I understand again, you don't want to feel like you want to get blown like somebody younger, but I interviewed a lady who was probably your height, your size. She competed, earned her pro card in women's bodybuilding at nationals, and she earned a pro card also in physique. It's about, again, don't look at it because you're only probably 55,
yeah.
and there's some women who are older than you that did this. It's about finding the opportunity. Now you feel safe and comfortable, that's good, but sometimes it's best every now and then. I doing this content, I had to get out of my own way because I remember my first bodybuilding show. When I went to my first bodybuilding show, I was kind of shy. I didn't feel like talking. But now doing this content, I had to really, really get out of my own way. And
Right.
sometimes in bodybuilding, you can be your own worst enemy.
A hundred
Yes,
percent. 100. I couldn't agree more. Like a hundred
yes,
percent. I
yes.
just we felt we talked about different options, and we felt that this was probably the best option for me right now. And I'm excited too. My daughter's getting married November 1st. I actually, yeah, I'm really excited about, and she's my only one.
Baby.
Yeah, my baby girl's getting married, so I'm like, I don't, she's I really haven't told her. I told her a little bit, but I really haven't made a big deal about it. She's like, Mom, you can't prep through my wedding. And I'm like, no.
Oh, here's the thing is that I know ladies who prep because they want this so bad for themselves, especially as an amateur. I've known ladies who've gone to weddings and they brought their own food.
Yeah,
And
no,
even
I'm
though
not.
I know you're the mother of the bride, but here's the thing is they can understand that this is about you. And the thing is, this is the focus is on your daughter, not you.
Right.
It's her day, and she shouldn't have to
100%.
worry about what you're doing. We should, like I said, as a boy, I love my mama. My mama was my woman, and a boy's best friend is his mother. That's the truth of it.
Yep. 100%.
And you know what? I know you right now. You don't want to be the attention, but you're not the attention. Everybody's gonna pay attention to her. Maybe some guys that say, "Who's that buff chick sitting in the front row?" I mean, she got some muscles. Those are the muscle purse phone. They like y'all ladies. We like y'all ladies. Y'all so buff. But the thing is, you do what you want to do for you.
100%, absolutely. And my daughter supports me, and I'm not one of those. I have to say, like, I'm really not one of those like crazy people. Like, I do not bring my meals to other places. I don't. We go out to restaurants. I can modify things like that. You know what I mean? I can figure out what I need to eat. You know what I mean? They got chicken in restaurants, they got fish in restaurants, and I can figure out things that I can choose and I can eat. I've never brought my own meals to a restaurant. I certainly wouldn't bring them to like a venue. You know what I mean? Like we just deal with it. You know what I mean? And do but we I figured that this, the more we talked about it, it was kind of, I kept saying how cool would this be? Like my daughter gets married, and 2 weeks later I get to do something that I really want to do. And how cool would that be in that time frame for me to be able to hopefully earn a pro card? She gets married, Um, so I mean that's kind of how we looked at it too. And we went to I did Masters USA, which I have to say, and I've been told that is the toughest show to get a pro card in. That's a no joke show. That's the best of the best, and that's just, I mean, and it's all masters, and it's just it's very hard to get a pro card. And the fact
Yeah.
that I walked out of there third and fourth in the country in my classes, hell yeah. So I'm kind of going into the same thing. I mean, of course, I want to hopefully walk out with a pro card, but I'm going to go in there and just do me and just do the best that I possibly can. But we figured too, how nice of a trip would it be to like, we're not going to stay long in Vegas, but like just to like the whole excitement of like traveling to Vegas and like just kind of like doing something. And you know what? If I don't get my pro card, we'll prep for the universe.
Yeah,
You know
or
what I
you could
mean?
while you're in Vegas, you can go like I'm going play some craps. Give me some
Oh
sevens,
yeah.
baby. Maybe something to pay for my posing suit. 'Cause that's suspense about being if you're a
Yeah,
bodybuilder
no,
because
we got to keep me out of it because I like casinos too much. We got to keep me out of there.
you hit the slot machines, and that's the thing I talk about. The expense of the amateur because the travel, paying for your entrance fees,
Yes.
your suits right there, your hair, your makeup. I keep saying this. I'm going to iterate this as often as I can. For the men, all they got to do is wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's about it. But y'all ladies, when it comes to prep time, for the shows, it's more of a expense. And also, food is important part about being a bodybuilder. If I keep rejecting, it's like, as you know, one of my things that I always ask, because being I love food, Randy, I love food. What was that thing, Randy, that after your last show it was
Oh,
calling you, it was calling your name. You
it. I got to tell you, like this past time, I really, I mean, pancakes. That's always been like my go-to. Like the
pancakes?
next day is like I would like my coach will laugh because like our biggest thing was like I'd have benchmarks, right? That I'd have to like kind of like achieve during the way. So like there were preps where like I really had to suffer. Like I had to take off 40 pounds in a prep. It's like no joke. I was eating tilapia from like 20 weeks out. And it was awful. And we would, he'd be like, all right, he's like, I need you to and get down to this weight. And again, we didn't, the weight wasn't so important. It was just more of a gauge just to see where I kind of was at, but it would just kind of help a little bit with like, all right, let's get down to this and let's see what you look like. So he'd be like, okay, 3 more pounds and you can have a pancake. And that pancake would taste so good. For a while, it was like I've had different cravings. Like my cheat meal or like my post show meal, always, if I'm able to, is a burger and sweet potato fries because I've had that
Mm.
during my prep, so my stomach is used to it, so I don't gouge. But to be honest with you, this past time, I really didn't crave. I think I had some M&Ms or Skittles or something like that just because I wanted the sugar, but I didn't really crave anything. I've gone nuts before and I've gotten sick, and I've learned over like 8 years like not to do that. So, and especially now being on the Wegovy, I don't crave anything.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny this time. So he's like, "You're not even asking me for a pancake," and I'm like,
Yeah. I
he's like,
mean,
"Well, he's like, but I need you to eat one every once in a while." You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I mean, does he let you have syrup on the pancakes or anything
Sugar,
on it? Just
I do sugar-free syrup on it.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
but
I actually just what we do for a Klondike bar.
right. But I mean, it's kind of like funny. I mean, like right now, like we counted the weeks, so I'm as of today, I'm 20 weeks out from the show. So we got plenty of time. So like usually we do anywhere from a 20 to a 16 week prep. Depends upon like right now, we'll probably start 16 weeks out. Um, my weight's coming down, and the diet that he has me on right now, we have trouble. We just got to keep figuring things out. My whole thing is making sure I'm getting enough nutrients because of this medication. Um, so I feel like this time my prep's a lot different. It's presenting with like new challenges that I've never had before. So usually, like at this point when I go into a prep, I'm like already thinking about, like ice cream and like, I remember one prep, it was like donuts. All I wanted was like donuts. One year, Twizzlers was another pizza. I had like a pizza thing one year. Just weird ass cravings that I would just have.
I would say one lady told me this. One of her cravings was the thing she wanted was it was muffins,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, like a muffin
And
or
yeah,
like a muffin or a donut or something like that. But it was so funny. Like I would literally during my prep, I would have sugar-free Jello and stevia, and to me that was like eating an ice cream.
ooh,
Like I'd have like six of them because they're only like 5 calories. They're like they're nothing. They're water. I would literally my whole refrigerator was sugar-free Jello, and I would like
no Jello pudding, just straight Jello.
no, just Jello. Like that's what I would have just to kind of counteract like my cravings, and I put the stevia like on top of it. Oh yeah, I did lettuce and honey mustard. That was another weird thing to help me like not be hungry. I've done some crazy things, but in terms of like my cravings right now, and it was just so weird because I just didn't have those cravings post show. I was like the next day, I think we did go and I had like a little bit of a pancake, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. It was
Yeah,
weird.
that's the thing is the body wants what it wants, and sometimes it could be just simple as water.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be just something because like especially sugar. I mean, I know I love sugar. I love sweets. I'm pre-diabetic. I gotta be careful when I take it, but I try to be smart on it. It's good. It's part of the process to develop and grow your body, and then understand that the cravings is not that important. It's just that your body, especially when you don't intake certain type of things after a while, and
Right.
when you smell it or you see it, like it can be like, oh wow, I might want that. And I would say like this again, whichever show works for you, that's
Right.
good. But again, oh, this is some advice I tell some ladies: keep something in the pocket just in case. If you don't feel like
A
you want to wait to
a hundred.
universe, I understand.
Right. 100%. I mean, everything is, and again, it's like you said, we talked about the cost and the expense.
Yeah,
It'd be wonderful if I was independently wealthy and I could do all this stuff.
yeah,
So for me, and because of the way that Ron and I have kind of always like worked together, it's really great that we have this thing that it's like it's okay. I don't have to go to the next show. You know what I mean? Like I can do this show, and then now we go back to the drawing board and we work harder, and we look forward towards the next thing, and we do that. Or I mean there's times where like we've talked about like maybe I would do another regional show just to go in and just kind of. So there was a show in Rhode Island that I was anticipating on doing back at the end of May, and that I was going to do that kind of as a pre-show, as a warm-up, just to work out some of the kinks in my routine and my posing, and then we would go to the universe. But I backed off of doing those. So right now I don't. I won't. Then I could do a warm-up show, but it's too close to my daughter's wedding, so I won't do that. So I think right now what we're doing is we're just going to just focus on just Masters USA. That's kind of like the prize right now.
also you got to mind yourself that I think if you're national qualified, they say you only have 2 or 3 years to use it.
Yes. Yes.
So when did you get your
So
national
this
qualification?
so this is what sucked for me is that I was qualified because I had gone to nationals, and then I got cancer, and I actually wrote a letter and I was like, hey, like listen, and they were like, well, sorry, these are the statures, and I'm like, really, I'm like, so I had to go back. So that's why I had to go back November, and I had to requalify. So I requalified this past November, so I'm good. I'm
So
good
you're
for
good.
those. Yeah, yeah, I'm good
That's
for those
good.
couple of years. But there, I I could do like a local show if I wanted to, but it's just going to be too close to my daughter's wedding. And at this point, I would just, like I don't need to go on a regional stage again. I need to just keep training and like practicing my posing and get my nutrition on point, and just working with Ron, and just like I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't,
Yeah.
I needed to do the one to get qualified again, but I also needed it for my confidence to get back up on stage again. But I feel like you know, we're going in it to hopefully win it. I mean, and the whole thing is to present my package the best that I possibly can. And unless there's really something horrific, I will be at that show.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I wish you best luck on that show because the fact is, I know a couple ladies who we should get their pro cards at the show. One of them I've interviewed. I know a lady right now she's planning on doing that show again because she didn't get a pro card last year, the USA Masters. And anytime you feel like again, this is your process, this is your plan with you and Ron, what y'all putting together.
Right.
But like I said, this is a sport where there's so many factors.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's involved in it, from training to dieting, everything that is part of that. And what you went through maybe was a test, and now that you went through it, maybe this is where you get better. And I know you want to enjoy that time with your daughter. And I said again, the focus is on her. So and people need to understand that there's so much involved as being a bodybuilder, from dieting, training, the process. If you're not consistent, determined, persistent, and regimental, if you just even falter a little bit, it's always issues. It also go back to like mental issues, like how you go dealing with your premenopausal issues, like I want to hurt somebody, I want to, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the mental factors of it. Because you know what, it could be just simple as I know David and I talk about this, how body dysmorphia, how it affects you.
Oh,
So
100%.
things is like, as I was talking earlier, how a young lady, she was murdered by her husband because of whatever issues were going on, and going back to steroids. I think about bodybuilding, it's always going to get that stink eye about it. But as long as I've talked to ladies that said this sport has helped them through like mental issues, physical
100%.
issues. Some ladies who have been, I've talked to a couple ladies that they were married and they got divorced because the husband liked them being a bodybuilder, because it was something that helped them change them. And
Yep.
again, you're changing yourself as a woman. As long as your husband loves you and cares about you, and your daughter cares about you, and your family and friends care about you, but you're always going to have people who are like, this chick, she got these muscles and yada 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 yada. Those are haters. And here's the thing about haters: let them hate till they can't hate no more. And again, here's the thing: there's also the flip side of it, as we talked earlier, how there's some guys can be a little bit pushy, a little
Right.
bit like there's an old schmo saying, Randy is like, we ain't rock hard, we're rock hard, but that's something different. It's about understanding who you are and where you want to go in the sport.
100%. I mean, that's what the sport's given me. It's given me a lot of things that I probably would have never had before, and I don't really care what anybody thinks. I do this for me, and if I could give one bit of advice to both men and women, because I speak a lot to men just as much as I do to women. When you're getting into the sport and you're thinking about competing, the thing I love about Ron is that his whole thing with me is, and he will always say it: there's always another show. There's a million shows. There's always another show. And I think that you as a competitor, um, have to find that balance. Like for me, I know that I wasn't there. And I mean, so maybe in the beginning I would have been like, no, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. And this is the only one. I have to do this. I have to do this. I made that decision. I'm not there yet. So we're not going to do this yet. We're going to, and he's like 100%, you know what I mean? He knew it. He's like, we're just not there yet. He's like, let's table this and let's come up with like a different plan. And like, let's do this. So there's always another show. So if you're not 100%, there's no sense in it. This sport, we pay into it more than we'll ever get from it. Okay, like I hate to disappoint men and women, but you're not going to be in that top level at the Olympia ever, unless like you're a genetic freak. Okay, like you're not Andrea Shaw, you're not Angela Yo, like you're not, you're I don't know if you'll ever get to that level. Maybe if you're in your 20s, I don't know. But I mean, a lot of it is like genetics, and the same thing with the guys. You know what I mean? Not many people look like Derek Lunsford. You know what I mean? And like, or even like a Nick Walker or like whatever. I mean, like a lot of that is like just genetics. But you have to be like in that mindset that like you're giving to this sport and paying for this sport way more than you're ever going to get financially out of it. So if you're going to do it, make sure you're ready, because to, you know, I mean, we cost things out. We like every time we do a prep, we sit down and like we make a list of like, okay, this is what the airline tickets cost. This is what the hotel costs. This is like what everything is. Like we added up. This show right here is like at least $6,000 by the time I was all said and done. You're talking about $395 to enter a class. Okay, so like I'm only going to do two because I'm not going to bother putting myself in the 35 plus class. I don't want to. I want to get out there and I want to put myself in the two classes where I know I can present my package the best and feel the best about. I don't need to do all four classes. I'm going to do the two classes. I don't need four pro cards. I need one. You know? So I'm like, you know, that's what we want to focus on. Then you're like looking at your airfare and you're looking at all this. Now, if you're in a position where you're able to do this, okay, you know, but it's also not great for your body either. But your mind has to be like 100%. And if you're not 100%, then don't do it. You know, there's always another show. It's actually better. You know, like I took off like not because I wanted to, but I took off like a good year plus, and I was able to like really train and get my body in better shape and get my mind in better shape and get into a better place, you know? So now I feel even better about going to a national level show than I did before. And now I feel like not that I didn't feel like I deserved to be there the first time, but I definitely feel like I'm there the second time.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I know competitors that want to be active. They want to get the opportunity, especially as an amateur. Pros about the same too, but this is what I got a friend of mine. He's an IFB pro. He's right now. He's planning on him and his wife are both pros. They're planning on competing in a couple weeks in Chicago. And I remember he told me, "Hey George, you want you wants me to come out to the show." I said, "Oh, okay, you still a training for this?" Nah, you got to take a plane. Oh hell no! I'm like Mr. T. Hey fool, I ain't ready for the plane just yet. But I think if you are really not just want to be turned by, but also smart, you gotta be smart too. Like there's shows, like there are national shows here that's closer to you, like as you know the Master Show in Pittsburgh. There's
Yep.
the USA's. There was you just had the week before I think it
The
was the
universe.
no they had the team no what
Oh,
the
the
universe
junior
it was
nationals.
junior nationals.
Yeah.
Then there's shows like the nationals. There's USA's Masters
Yep.
USA's. Also, there's a show coming up. It's part of the Chicago Pro, but it's for women's bodybuilding. That is the Miss International, which is women's bodybuilding qualification for pros.
Right.
I mean, there are shows, but you just have to,